Let's execute an immediate high-gear tactical vector shift back onto the brutally cold, calculation-heavy tracking grids of elite British academies, dark psychological warfare, and high-frequency toxic attachment arrays. We are crossing the threshold directly into the opulent, shadow-drenched corridors of royal family empires and secret collegiate syndicates with all the truths, the exceptional, rapid-pulsing concluding deployment for the legendary Lies and Truths Duet by the reigning sovereign of dark contemporary new adult suspense, Rina Kent. This final operation delivers a thrilling, deeply volatile exploration of weaponized memory amnesia, systematic family framing plots, and obsessive romantic survival matrices colliding at terminal velocity. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of high-octane, pitch-black psychological thrillers where an elite, hyper-focused anti-hero must navigate an absolute maze of corporate blackmail, lethal family legacies, and severe emotional manipulation while running an aggressive protective loop around a fragile target, where an analytical mind uses deep threat profiling, architectural surveillance, and absolute ruthlessness to dismantle a multi-generational conspiracy, and where the author utilizes an incandescent, shattered heroine uncovering the ultimate identity fraud diagnostic routine to test our hero's structural survival perimeters, this book is engineered to lock you in. Kent completely dominates the dark college noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing emotional momentum, intense physical friction, and crushing domestic isolation popularized by genre vanguards like Amo Johns, H.D. Carlton, Siobhan Davis, and Sophie Lark, while treating high-society corporate logistics, surveillance tracking tradecraft, and raw psychological vulnerability with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on our central protagonist axis, a masterfully calculated duet of trauma and absolute obsession. Our heroine is the ultimate blueprint of psychological resilience, operating under a strict calculation-heavy routine to piece together the shattered amnesiac fragments of her identity while trapped inside a high-society web where every friendly face is a potential executor. Her daily workspace is a cutthroat playground of elite wealth, cold mansion walls, and hidden camera arrays. Her internal defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a layer of deep survival panic, her entire analytical focus strictly consumed by parsing historical family records, monitoring local student threat metrics, and guarding her remaining sanity from being entirely deleted by a ruthless shadow mastermind. The spark ignites when her active scanning perimeter registers a devastating structural anomaly. The cold, lethal alpha predator who claimed her, a brilliant calculation-heavy heir to an elite empire, unveils the final parameters of his tracking grid. He is the definitive model of a dark state protector, his entire lifestyle built around running absolute, unyielding security filters and psychological chess moves to eliminate anyone who threatens his possessive claim. The official diagnostic metrics of their elite social circle flatline instantly, as the hidden truths behind a decade-long web of murder, switched identities, and systemic family gaslighting are systematically exposed. A terminal countdown sequence engages. The protective walls crumble, and our protagonist duo run completely out of standard civilian escape vectors. The tactical parameters instantly explode as the search for answers turns completely offensive, transforming their elite estate into a volatile psychological pressure cooker. Our veteran Dark Protector goes into a full-scale systemic lockdown, deploying his massive intelligence apparatus, private tracking networks, and lethal close-quarters combat tradecraft to isolate the mastermind's coordinates. When deceptive parental figures, hostile corporate hit cells, and calculation-heavy legal framing setups launch aggressive countermeasures to permanently silence the heroine, the team's survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight boundary sweep, every silent execution of an interrogation protocol behind closed doors, and every intense moment of channeling their raw mutual obsession to withstand the trauma chips away at their reliance on standard civilian frameworks. What follows is an exceptional, high-stakes war of perspective, tactical position, and raw human grit. We watch the high society empire's deceptive perimeters completely unwrapped as Kent reveals that the true victory requires more than just surviving the trauma. It demands an absolute, uncompromising annihilation of the forces pulling the strings. While our central duo smooths over each other's psychological and defensive blind spots with devastating analytical force, a brutal series of industrial confrontations shifts the clock into its terminal phase, proving that the executors have tracked them to their final sanctuary. To survive the impending locked grid trap and permanently secure their freedom, our resilient pair must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of their dark, undeniable bond. It is a dark new adult romance, psychological suspense, elite academy thriller, high-velocity alpha protector masterpiece that treats deep psychological logistics and intense emotional friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We're talking about that high-frequency, one uncovered lie triggers a fatal retaliation energy, where a sudden pause in a dark library confrontation, an unexpected shift in your partner's protective physical posture during a family dinner, or a heavy, possessive realization that the predator has completely mapped your childhood home carries massive structural weight. Kent writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the cold, sterile hum of high-tech security rooms, the oppressive, heavy atmosphere of a rain-slicked London estate, and the distinct, subtle scent of expensive tobacco, rainfall, leather, fresh blood, and pure, unadulterated suspense. What truly elevates this duet finale into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance realistic psychological trauma mechanics and genuine high-stakes suspense tradecraft alongside a breathtaking narrative pace and deep emotional hooks. Our protagonist duo doesn't rely on unbelievable, superficial Hollywood action tropes. Their immense situational intelligence, strategic patience, and profound survival instincts match the complexity of the chaotic, dark criminal underworld they dominate step for step, making their choices to risk everything feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense conversational standoffs and breathtaking forensic breakthroughs before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping final confrontation that delivers total, hard-earned closure to their horizon. All the Truths is the definitive, pro-level upgrade your high-stakes dark romance and contemporary psychological suspense fiction library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire sanctuary is targeted by a cold, calculating institutional monster, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to lock your perimeters, embrace your inner demons, and fight like hell alongside your protector to rewrite the data. So, secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to track the truths.